So last night, before I really intended to sleep, I asked, I asked, whatever it is out there that humans don't understand. I asked. I would like to be connected to my great granddad. I want a phone line with my great granddad. I want wherever he is, whatever time zone or layer of the cosmos he is, I want some kind of want to communicate. Well, nothing happened. But at least I tried. I I was I was almost expecting to dream of him or have a conversation in a dream or something like that. But there's nothing special that happened. I dreamt of something, but I forgot what it is, what they are, because there are multiple scenes. I remembered it earlier, but now I completely forgot. So, nothing happened in my dream. But then, this morning, while I was at work and doing my tasks, I I was transported to this attic almost. I imagined it as an attic where it's very well lit. It's very tidy, and there are boxes and shelves. And then I was there with him, but I'm not me, the big me. I'm not this size. I'm the one, the little me was there. And there's this man. He's young, probably around mid 40s or early 50s, kind of young. And I have this information that my great granddad, he's the one that I talked about in a previous video. In the yeah, maybe it's not relevant to the story, but I have this information that my great granddad, the dad of my father's mom, was from Europe. He's half and half. He's a mix of multiple European sort of. So I imagine, I'm not entirely sure if I'm imagining this actively or because it's weird sometimes. I would get these images inside my head. Am I like this? Is this my own doing, or is this like someone controlling the computer and flashing it on my brain? I'm not entirely sure what these are. It's very mysterious, these images that I get sometimes. So it flashed there, and there was this man, a tall person, dark blonde hair, and he's wearing a nice blazer that suits him very well, and I cannot see the exact shades of this, because it's very strange how it's colored, this image. I can see how well lit everything was. I can see the figure of me as a kid, and then him. I cannot even see the entirety of the face of this man, but he's happy to be there with me. And the entire morning that I'm doing the tasks, I was with him in my head as a little kid. And he was just there, and we are talking about things, and I forgot now where it started, this conversation. But he made it clear that he wishes that he met me. He would have been very happy to meet me, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. He would have been very happy to meet me because he he said that now I forgot how I worded the things that I said to him and how he worded the things he said to me. But the general thought was that all the things that I consider, or the world around me indoctrinated me, is that the proper word? Or the world around me taught me that these are my weaknesses, are apparently they are my strength, according to my great grandpa. Because he said he could have relied on me to continue what he started. It's a very strange experience, because I saw myself as a little child, but then I interacted with him with the mind of the present me. He said to me, he could have I could have been the person that he could have trusted, because he will know for sure that I will not turn out like the one he had to run away from, because he had to run away at some point of his life and rebuild from scratch, and he managed that. He managed to build the businesses again. The family that he ran away from was in the north of the Philippines. He ran away to the south of the islands and built from there. That's where he met my great grandma. So he said the things that the world around me made me feel like was my weaknesses are apparently the very things that would have made him proud of me, because I may not have inherited the fruits of his labor, but he said I'm still his great granddaughter, and that still counts as something. I may not have inherited the fruits of his labor in in the physical, but I inherited the spirit. So I felt like what happened was one by one, I showed him the things that I thought my weaknesses. I showed him, and then he's like, for example, I have this thing when I say something, or if someone tells me that, oh, we're planning this, and okay, I'll remember it, and I'll make room for it. If I say yes to the thing, I'll make room for it, and I'll keep my word. And then there were times when I got told that, oh, why are you so serious? We were just joking. We're just joking. You're so serious. It's nothing. And then I'm like, but you said we are going to this thing. So I said yes. And whenever I say yes, I mean it. And I told that to my great grandpa that this is something that and my great grandpa, he said, well, you are someone who can keep your word, and it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, because you need to be able to know how to keep your word, so that you can make the other people around you safe. Because when you say something that you'll do, you do it. So the other people around you, they can rely on you. It's not a bad thing, he said. Roughly. It's not word per word, but the idea that I'm trying to recall now, because this happened this morning and it's so hard to recall everything because a lot of things have happened already in between that and this. So there are a lot more things, and he assured me that that's these things, he said to me, these things that you are mentioning to me that you think are your weaknesses, these are the very things that would make me trust you. These are the very things that would make my soul peaceful somewhere. If I had met you and I left you everything, it would made my soul peaceful, that you'll make everything, or you'll do everything in your power to make sure that you'll pass it down to the younger generation. For example, because I also told him, not explicitly, but because I'm not someone who's very deeply interested in numbers, stocks, finance. That's not my line. I'm more of the artistic pursuits, creative things. I'm more there, and he assured me that in his own way that yes, I may know, or I might be sure that this is not my way of thinking, the business side, but he could still trust that I will learn what I should learn in order to not make the businesses die, because he, he, he knows that I may have artistic pursuits and they might be my priority, but he also knows me enough to trust me to learn what I had to learn, just so this thing that he entrusted me with lives even after my death. And he assured me that the things that you consider are your weak points are actually the gold mine. So yeah, after that morning I spent in the attic with my great grandpa, I feel like I'm okay now. Like someone can accept me entirely. And also I saw the perspective of, if there will be one person out there who would hear this story and interpret it as how, imagine how alone or abandoned she must have felt in the living members of her bloodline, that she has to dig the bones of her great grandpa just to feel accepted and loved. And I think the only thing I could say to that is yes. Yes. But I think I believe in things. There are things, there are things that I don't believe in, but I also believe in other things that I don't really talk about, because I keep the things that I believe in only to myself. So after this morning, I feel like I've been restored feel like a glowing sun. I feel like there's warm light in my being after what happened. So I guess the wish of last night or the request of last night worked in a way. Maybe I did really meet my great grandpa this morning. I don't know. There are things in the universe that are still a mystery, I guess.